He represents the Illinois 4th District and is deeply rooted in communities that are impacted by the hurtful immigration policies of this administration and, quite honestly, of many administrations in the past. He travels around the country listening to the stories because those are the things that give him energy, inspiration, and the mandate to keep fighting for our families. Please help me welcome my friend and one of the people that inspires me the most, Congressman Luis Gutiérrez.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. First, I want to thank the Center for Popular Democracy, and in a couple of hours, I look forward to rejoining you in front of Freedom Plaza as we take our work here to the streets in front of the CBP. So I want to say to all of my friends from Firm, and especially Casa de Maryland, thank you. I'm going to, on January the 2nd, 2019 will be my last day as a member of Congress. But it will not be my last day in this fight and in this struggle. On that day, I will join the National Partnership for New Americans and begin being free of the work here in Washington, D.C. Be free to travel across this country and organize the immigrant community. And let me give you a couple of priorities. There are 8 million permanent residents of the United States who today can become citizens of the United States. And so when Donald Trump says Mexicans are murderers, rapists, drug dealers, bad people, and we need to get rid of them, our response is going to be, we're going to make them citizens of the United States of America so they can make America the great nation that it is. And we're going to be strategic about what we do with this, right? We're going to be in Pennsylvania doing that. We're going to be in Michigan doing that. Speaker Ryan saw me in the hallway and he said, Luis, I see you're leaving Congress. I hope you have a nice, peaceful retirement. I said, not before I register and make sure a few thousand people in your congressional district become citizens of the United States of America. Immigrants, I and our immigrant community will play a role in reestablishing democracy. As immigrants always have in this country. You see, they were wrong about the immigrants when they came from Ireland. They were wrong about the immigrants when they came from Italy and Germany and Poland. And they are wrong about the immigrants today who come to sweat and to work and to make this country better. So that's part of it. I want you all to think with me together. Between the election of November 2016 and November 2020, 4 million Latinos will turn 18. 4 million. I know some of you are thinking, how many? No, I'm only counting the citizens. Because one of the great myths is they keep bashing the immigrants and the Latinos and the undocumented. And I say, okay, but you know what? You should worry about the 50 million of us that are citizens of the United States and are going to come out and organize. You like to dwell on the defenseless and those that cannot vote, but I assure you that there are those of us that can vote and will vote and come out to vote the next election. So when I say this, I say, how are we going? You saw the Parkland students, how brave, how courageous, how tenacious they are. The youth today is ready. You know, I was 18 years old in 1972. So when they changed the law, and made it, you know, it'd be 21 in 1972, you got to be 18, I was all excited. We gotta make it exciting, again, for our Latino youth and our immigrant youth. Because let me tell you what's gonna happen. As we take abuelita, right? We take grandma and help her become a citizen. I know that Donald Trump is gonna try to stop grandma from becoming a citizen before 2020. It's what he's gonna try to do. But guess what? The granddaughter, she's gonna say, abuelita, I'm voting for you, come hell or high water in this election. And understand that when you take a dreamer's ability away to be free from deportation, as Donald Trump is doing, 800,000 dreamers trying to strip them of their DACA, of their ability to work legally and be free of deportation, they got classmates. They got classmates. I want you to remember what it was like when you were in high school and you were in college and when they did something to your best friends. They are part of our community. See, Donald Trump and the Republican Party think that the undocumented are somehow this isolated community of people who work in America. They're not. They go to the same church and sit in the same pew I do. They go to the same grocery store, the same school, they play the same schoolyard. They are my family, they are Americans, and we're going to stand up for them. And that's how we're going to get people to come out and vote. We see what's going on. It is cruel. And they're going to make it as cruel and as mean and as nasty and inhumane as possible when those women come with their children and separate them at the border. I can think of nothing more cruel, more evil than to strip a child from the mother's arms, as that mother comes fleeing systematic murder and rape and torture in countries that will not, cannot defend them. When they come to the United States of America, to our border, it is not illegal. It is a right that they have to seek asylum in the United States of America. And that is what they are coming to seek, asylum in the United States of America. And so as we organize our community and you want to talk to Latinos, tell them that you want the government to respect a woman's right to choose and to control her reproductive. Tell them that you think it is unfair to treat our LGBTQ community with discrimination, and to say to the transgender community that they cannot serve in the armed forces, especially from someone who found 5 different reasons to have a bad foot when it was his turn. Tell them that the environment is important to them, and Latinos will come out to vote. They will. Tell them that you want to make sure, as my father used to say, que el sindicato, that's the word he used. He never used union, I guess. He used that word. There's something, a special flavor about the Spanish and sindicato, right? All the Latinos know what I mean, right? El sindicato siempre va a defender los derechos de los trabajadores. Tell them that you want to make it easier for people to get collective bargaining agreements. And I'm excited about working with SEIU to organize all of those workers from one airport to the other along the east coast of the United States of America. So, I'm leaving Congress, but I'm going back to where I originally started, right? Registering people to vote. That's how I got my start. Well, they used to make fun of Barack Obama, community organizer. It's the best. I hope, when I die, which I hope is a long time from now, I hope they put not congressman, but the community organizer. That's what I love the most. So when you want to talk to Latinos, you raise all of those issues, right? But let me just share with you, and this is why I think it is so great we're taking an action together in front at Freedom Plaza today at 1:30. You have to also tell them that you want to defend the rights of the undocumented immigrants in the United States of America. You want to defend the right of being able to bring your mom to live with you, of being able to bring your brother to live with you, of being able to bring your wife to live with you, of being able to bring your children to live with you. That we're not going to change the structural integrity of our immigration system, which has always been about what? Uniting and keeping families together. We can negotiate a lot of things, but that's non-negotiable. We will not negotiate the way and the future of our immigrant community to be united and to be together. Now I want to talk about one last thing to you, which I think is important in terms of the work that I'm going to ask you to help me develop and elaborate. So there are now, if West Side Story was written today, it wouldn't be written in Harlem, Spanish Harlem, in New York City. It'd be written in Disneyland. It'd be written in Tampa. It'd be written in Miami. Today there are more Puerto Ricans living in the state of Florida than anywhere else in the United States of America, part of the diaspora. Unfortunately, part of the reason that they're living in that diaspora is the improper, less than humane response of the government of the United States of America. There are still tens of thousands of people on the island of Puerto Rico 9 months later that don't have running water, that don't have health care, that don't have electricity. And they are fleeing. They are fleeing. Most of them are registering to vote in Florida as unaffiliated. It's our job for them to understand they can't go back home to a 21st century economy, a 21st century standard of living until Donald Trump is no longer president of the United States of America. And when they understand that, and they hear the values of our movement that say, if you want to stay, you are welcome, stay, grow, and prosper here. If you want to return, we're going to make it possible. And we're going to say to your loved ones in Puerto Rico that we care about you. But you know where my principal residence is going to be? Where I'm going to work out of? It's going to be in Puerto Rico. Because if you're going to come and organize the diaspora in Florida, and the second place I'm going to work to organize them is Pennsylvania. 2 states that didn't come through for our agenda in the last, because my daddy used to say, whoever gets the most votes wins, son, unless you're running for president of the United States. It's whoever gets the most votes in certain states. So you see what I want to do? I want to take that Puerto Rican community and that diaspora in Pennsylvania, and there are hundreds of thousands of them, and the hundreds of thousands in Florida, and organize them for the next election. And they're going to be pro-choice voters. They're going to be pro-environmental voters. They're going to be pro-union voters. They're going to be pro-immigrant voters. But you know what else they're going to be? They're also going to be pro-Puerto Rico voters. So we need to have an agenda like the one that Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders have put forward that say, we're going to rebuild Puerto Rico. It's our responsibility. And we are going to lift from the backs of the people of Puerto Rico that terrible, onerous, undemocratic control board of 7 unelected, unaccountable people that are closing down schools, closing down hospitals, and making it more and more difficult for the people of Puerto Rico to survive and to grow. We're going to start talking about how it is we relieve the debt that the people of Puerto Rico have and how we restore. We're going to talk about, you saw a congressman, there's a congressman, a Republican congressman, chairman of the Natural Resources. He went to Puerto Rico 2 weeks ago. And he said, oh, it's so expensive, your electrical grid here. So expensive, he said. He said, we should bring natural gas. It costs less than petroleum, which he's correct. But guess what, Congressman? You want to know what costs less? Air and the sun cost a lot less. Why aren't we talking about an energy energy grid in Puerto Rico that leaves literally no carbon footprint on the island and on the world. Or that says the sun rises every day on that island and we're going to harvest that sun and that energy and build a better future for the people of Puerto Rico. We're going to take the wind and we're going to harness that wind for the benefit of the people of Puerto Rico, not for the frackers who want to destroy our economy and destroy our environment. So those are the kinds of things that we're going to be talking about, so that those unaffiliated members of my Puerto Rican diaspora in Florida that have fled the island and those that are in Pennsylvania are all working together to do what? To make sure that we're all better. One last thing I want to say to all of you. I was born in 1953. I'm joining Medicare this year. I'm signing up in 2 more months. I paid all those years into it. I'm finally going to sign up. But I lived in the city of Chicago. I was born there, 1953, to my mom and my dad. And there were swimming pools that my dad told me not to go to. He said I would be hurt if I tried to go to those swimming pools. There were parks. There were neighborhoods we couldn't live in. Martin Luther King came to Chicago in 1967 and they crushed his head open with a rock. He said he never saw that kind of evil in people's hearts, in people's eyes anywhere in the South. That's the city I grew up in. We're separate but equal was the law of the land. That was the Chicago I was born in, where segregation was legal and plentiful in my city of Chicago. So I just want to say that I always understand that the reason I have the ability to come before you and to use this microphone is because Black Lives Matter. I was born into a segregated society where it was legal to discriminate against me. And black people gave up their lives. Their churches were burned, they were lynched. But they persevered. And others of us joined them in a civil rights movement that gave us a Voting Rights Act. That gave me the ability to run for Congress nearly 50 years later. So, I have a responsibility to all of those that gave their lives so that I could speak to you and to others truth and justice. And I intend to fulfill that commitment because I've always understood that Black Lives Matter. They have changed my life and the life of so many of us here in this room. Whether you're gay or a woman or a labor leader or a Latino like me, it changed fundamentally the way America is. Now they want to change that. They want to roll back the clock. Sessions, he just loved, for black people to be in the back of the bus again. Yeah, he loved for women to be in the kitchen. He loved for gay people to be in the closet again. And for me, not to have a microphone to be able to speak to anybody. We're not going to allow that to happen. So my challenge, I think, is our challenge, right? Let's get our immigrant community, our Latino community, let people of Puerto Rico go back home, let them prosper here, but let them live. Let immigrants thrive in America. Let's change our strategy at the border. A man abusing, raping a woman, killing women is never a private matter. It is an American value to defend those women, not a private matter. So let's work together, and we'll all win together. Thank you.
Thank you.